Hi, I'm Bob Archer, Senior Editor with CE Pro Magazine, and today I am with the Paradigm and Anthem team. David Baker, Director of Sales North America, and Kyle Delnero, Director of Training and Field Support. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, Bob. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Your weather looks a whole lot better than ours in the greater Boston area here, and I'm kind of envious. So.
It's pretty beautiful down here in Central Florida today, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kyle's our go-to guy for outdoor products. I live in the suburbs of Seattle, and we get a very, very short window to sort of enjoy our outdoor space. So Kyle gets to take advantage of that pretty much year round.
It's getting closer to that time where it's your summer, and actually during that time of the year when it's really warm in your states, it's so hot down here that usually we're inside by that time. So we're finished the last couple months of great weather. Yeah.
Well, that provides us the perfect segue to get right into our topic of conversation today, which will be outdoor audio. We're going to talk about several products from both Paradigm and Anthem that not only address traditional outdoor audio, but I would even say possibly bring immersive audio or surround sound into outdoor spaces.
Definitely. Yeah, we have a lot of really cool solutions, and we'll talk about some of the ones that I use here in my backyard to take advantage of some great sound. Also, watching TV out here at night while we're enjoying the back patio.
Okay, so let's start with my first question here. Versatility seems to be a theme within the Paradigm product line, and possibly one of the best examples of versatility is the Decor V2. For clarification purposes, can this singular product be used both indoors and outdoors? And what are some of your suggestions for using this product regardless of placement of indoor or outdoor environments?
Yeah, so we actually have two different options for the grill style. One of them is IP65 outdoor rated. That's the aluminum grill that I have here with me in my backyard below my 50-inch TV below the covered patio. And that's what I use to listen to great outdoor sound, not only for listening to music, but also this is part of a stereo system and a surround sound system out here. So I can use it for distributed audio playback, and I can also use it for a more immersive experience when I'm enjoying the hot tub around the patio area. The secondary option, of course, if you're not doing the perforated aluminum grill for outdoor use, which of course can be used indoor as well, if you're matching the aesthetics of your space, is you can do the MDF cloth grill. Now, one of the advantages to the MDF cloth grill on our Decor V2 series when you do a custom bar is you actually have the option to contour it. So if you have a power button, if you have a power light in the middle of the TV or on the side of the TV, we can actually contour that with the MDF cloth grill option so it sits perfectly flat below the television. So it's another nice aesthetic touch when you are doing an indoor installation with the Decor V2 series. Talking about versatility, I mean, there's tons of versatility. Dave, of course, you know, we sell a lot of just the traditional 1SC model, which is the center channel, the left and right below the television. But tell everybody about some of the other options that we have for Decor V2.
Yeah, you can, as Kyle has behind him, that's a left, center, right. We make them in stereo pairs, so you can actually have a single speaker below the TV if you want it to match aesthetically. That has just a left and right stereo. You could do the same form factor and actually have it just be a center channel. Or you can do speakers on the left and the right side of the TV and have them be stereo speakers. We also make a third option where you can go left and right of the TV and have it be stereo speakers plus a center channel, and we'll create that center phantom image off the two additional drivers on the side speakers. For the 1SC models, we custom make them for the width of the TV. So you just tell us what model TV you have, what size TV you have, and we'll custom make it to perfectly match the width of the TV. We also do make standard size models for a 65, 75, and 85 inch that are a little bit lower in price. So if you are trying to kind of squeeze the budget a little bit and you aren't necessarily too concerned about having it exactly match the width of the TV, we have that as an option available as well.
And those standard sizes are available in either the MDF cloth grill, which of course, since it's standard, we're not contouring it for a specific model. And then you also have on those models the perforated aluminum grill option. So you can match either the aesthetics inside, or if you are going to use that in an outdoor covered situation like I have here at home.
Okay, and continuing along this theme of versatility, um, we're going to shift focus from the Decor V2 product to the multi-purpose X500 amplifier. Can you briefly explain how the amplifier can be set up to complement an AVR or a surround processor?
Yeah, so I'll actually use the example here at home in my backyard system. I'm using the X500 to power the Go 10 subwoofer. It's our burial subwoofer. I actually use it in a more unique way. It's inside of a flower pot, so it's sitting on top of the hardscape where the hot tub's located. And I use the X500 to power that LFE woofer from the LFE output of the small form factor MRX slim receiver that we'll talk about later. And that gives me that immersive 5.1 surround sound environment in the great outdoors, powering the Decor V2 bar below the TV, two Go 6 satellites, one that you can actually see behind me here. And it has that subwoofer, so I can add that thrilling bass response using the 500 watts of mono power in bridge mode to power the Go 10 subwoofer with a custom DSP profile for that specific subwoofer. Dave, there
Yeah.
are other ways you can use it as well for surround sound. So tell everybody about those.
Well, I say I don't know how well you can see it, but that's an X500 that I have in my hand. It's pretty compact. It's basically a half rack width and 1U high chassis. And then it's got quite a bit of flexibility in terms of the outputs. You'll see an analog input as well as some digital inputs. And then some dip switches for pretty much not only all of our products for DSP settings, but there's also a generic mode, so you can use it for a whole range of products. As Kyle mentioned there, he's got it in the bridge mode to power his Garden Oasis subwoofer. As part of his 5.1 system, he could power right above his head. You can see a pair of stylus speakers there. If you wanted to power those, you can power that with the X500 in stereo mode. So there's just a lot of flexibility with that product, and it's a nice compact chassis as well.
Another really cool feature, thinking outside of the box with the X500, it's just a great stereo amplifier. So there is a generic stereo setting that doesn't have a specific DSP built in. And you can use it to power things like surround back channels, Atmos height channels when you need extra amplification for a surround sound receiver or processor. And it's especially important when it has the small form factor if you're trying to save rack space or save space inside your furniture. I actually used it myself from my AVM90 into the X500 for a while to power my top middle height channels for Atmos effects. So there's a ton of versatility with it.
We also make, and I might be getting ahead of ourselves here, we also make what we call Garden Essentials. It's an 8.1 system, and it's designed to be driven just off the X500. A lot of the outdoor systems have quite a bit of sophisticated power requirements. The 8.1 system is something that can be driven off just about any amplifier. We've used Zone 2 off receivers. We've used Sonos amps before. And again, even the X500, it's meant to drive that just quite nicely.
Definitely.
Guys, could we circle back for a moment? There was a lot of information there, but I'd like to circle back to the Garden Oasis subwoofers
Yeah.
for a moment. Can you explain briefly how the X500 can be set up to power those products?
Sure. So you have options built into the X500's DSP list where you wire it into bridge mode, following the bridge mode wiring diagram on the back of the unit by the Phoenix style connector. And then what you can do is set that DSP profile for the Go Sub 8, which is our burial 8-inch subwoofer that Dave was talking about that comes with the Garden Oasis Essentials package and can be bought separately if you'd like to go to something like an 8.2, or if you need a smaller form factor sub for your burial sub with our full-size Garden Oasis series products. In my case, I have the Go 10 SW in the planter box, and I'm using it in bridge mode from the X500 with the custom DSP to power that subwoofer, as well as we have a 12-inch model available that you can also power with the X500 as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. W Earlier, you guys alluded to a product that I'm pretty excited about. I think it's one of the more cooler products to be introduced to the market recently, and that's Anthem's MRX Slim, which is a slim profile immersive audio solution. Can you explain how this product came about? Was it based on dealer feedback? And how can dealers use some of the options built into it, like the ARC Room EQ program?
Yeah, so that's the beautiful part about the MRX Slim. It is from dealer feedback and consumer feedback. People want smaller living spaces to feel less cluttered a lot of times. Like in my case, I use the MRX Slim for two different systems. It is powering my outdoor audio system to give me that immersive experience with the Decor V2, the Garden Oasis, and the Go 10 subwoofer. But it's also used inside of my sim racing room where I have a very small piece of lowboy furniture that has that mid-century modern look that a lot of people are after today. And it won't fit a traditional sized AV receiver. It's only about 14 inches deep. So I needed something that could fit into that form factor and power my Millennia LPXL system with E65Rs in the in-ceiling position to give me that immersive surround sound experience while I'm gaming in that room. So that's where the MRX Slim was really born from, is the age-old question, where do I put the receiver? Especially whenever it's a small form factor piece of furniture, or there are so many options from the flexibility that you have for the mounting solutions that you could even put it behind a television. Let's say that this was in my living room and I had the Decor bar below the TV, and I have the ability to put an in-wall media box inside of that wall. I could actually recess that MRX Slim behind the television. It's out of sight, out of mind. It could be the cleanest looking installation that gives us the ability to have that soundbar below the TV, give me an experience like no other, because I can do everything all the way up to a 5.1 system with it, or I could even do something like a 3.1.2 system to add height channels because of the amplifier matrixing on board. Now, Dave, there's tons of other ways you can install the MRX Slim and why we decided to design that product. So tell everybody else about some of the other ones that we use it for regularly.
Yeah, again, another really small, compact product. It's roughly about 11 inches wide by 11 inches deep, and it's a 1U chassis. As Bob did mention, it does have an eARC input as well as a standard HDMI input and a digital input, 5.1. We do include with it a essentially a mounting kit, so you can mount it, like Kyle mentioned, on the wall behind the TV or in a Versa box. Some of my California dealers, as this applies to outdoor audio, they have used this as the centerpiece, and they've actually mounted it outside behind the TV in a Versa box. And it's enabled them to actually do an outdoor audio system where they probably would not have done an outdoor audio system previously, because one of the challenges, of course, particularly in an existing home, would be getting all your audio video feeds from inside the house to your outdoor location. And the MRX Slim basically allows you today, whether you're using an Apple TV or Roku, or maybe you're using the apps in the TV, you can just take the HDMI out of the TV, go into the MRX Slim, and do up to a 5.1 system outside, whether that's based around a Decor like Kyle has. I've got a couple guys that have just installed a pair of stylus up in the eaves with their outdoor audio video system, and it's a perfect solution for that. And it really minimizes some of the challenges, or eliminates some of the challenges in terms of getting audio and video from the inside part of the system, maybe the main location where they have all those sources, to their display device outside.
And if you do have a main equipment closet where you have a rack, it's also great because we do sell a rack kit that replaces the faceplate of the front of the MRX Slim. That's actually how I use it here in my home, because I do have home runs from the outdoor area back to my rack location. And what's great about using the MRX Slim is it's just that 1U high form factor. So I save a lot of space because I wouldn't have the ability inside of my small rack inside of that closet to have a full size receiver. So it's perfect to power this solution outside.
Rounding out my questions, guys, and I want to stay on the MRX Slim, and yeah. I want to get a little more specific. Can dealers use the MRX Slim product with Paradigm speakers like the Garden Oasis Essential and other Paradigm products, whether it be indoors or outdoors?
So of course, all Paradigm products are designed to work with Anthem products. We're sister companies, so we always make sure that's front of mind when we're designing them. Now, the Garden Oasis Essentials product's a little bit different because that's a high impedance satellite system that wires in parallel to the subwoofer. So you wouldn't want to put that on an MRX Slim. That's designed to go on a 2-channel amplifier like the X500. Our MDX series distribution amplifier solutions are great to power that. Or even like Dave said, Zone 2 from an MRX 740 1140 would have the ability to power that from the amplifier channels for zone 2. Now, in my case, utilizing it here in the backyard, I chose to use it to power my Decor V2 soundbar. It can power an 8-ohm load loudspeaker perfectly, so it's used to power the Go 6 satellite speakers that are mounted in the trees for the surround left and right position. So if you're using an 8-ohm loudspeaker, regardless of the brand, you can use the MRX Slim. Even if it's a 4-ohm loudspeaker, if it's a slightly tougher speaker to drive, you can use the MRX Slim and get great results from a small form factor 5.1 receiver like that.
Yeah, we've shocked some dealers with the performance of the Slim. I think the expectation, because it is such a small form factor, that it's just going to be kind of okay sound, and we put them on large tower speakers, not only our own but other brand products, and we've definitely raised some eyebrows from folks who are just like, holy cow! I mean, it's an impressive product. There's not too many speakers out there that I would be afraid to stick a Slim with.
One of my favorite stories to tell, Bob, with one of my local dealers here in Central Florida, a customer bought a house that had an existing audio system in it. And when he moved in, the main living space for their living room, den, open kitchen floor plan was just a soundbar. It was a powered soundbar from the previous homeowner. And most customers, when they walk in that room, probably would have gone to another powered soundbar just because it was already located below where the TV was mounted. And this customer wanted better performance. He told the dealer, I want to get the best performance possible. There was no way to do a home run back to the rack location where this room was located. It was a big double living room ceiling. So it was 22, 23 feet up to the ceiling within the room. And what we decided to do with the dealer and the customer is he did, I think it was a 77-inch television on the wall. And we mounted the MRX Slim behind it right above the TV bracket. And then we dropped the wires down the wall because we could see, put it there locally. We could see where we had that path. And we did the Founder ADF tower speakers in our Founder series range with an X12 subwoofer to give him a thrilling experience. And one of the biggest benefits, of course, of using the MRX Slim that you touched on earlier is Anthem room correction. This was a tough space, big double, story ceiling. We've got big open air spaces to the kitchen, the dining room open concept area. So we used the Anthem's MRX Slim's Anthem room correction to be able to dial that system in perfectly so that they could enjoy their system throughout the year.
Sounds like a pretty nice system.
Yeah, and I think the other key about that is simplicity. It didn't require a control system. I mean, a lot of times I know we all like to sell control systems, and it's a very cool thing to sell and integrate whole house audio. But sometimes in a room, a customer is just looking for what we call a simple solution. Yet we don't want to sacrifice any performance. And the Slim really does does allow you to do that. Again, whether you're doing an in-wall system, an on-wall system, a pair of box speakers, or expanding it into an outdoor space, the Slim really has a tremendous amount of versatility to address those dealer needs for those specific applications that they're trying to solve for their customers.
Thank you, Dave. You guys were fantastic. You provided a lot of information, and we covered a lot of ground, both in terms of surround sound and outdoor audio, and some of the different ways that dealers can use products from both Paradigm and Anthem. I do have one last question. If someone wants to learn more about Paradigm and Anthem and want to use the web to learn more, where can they go to learn more information?
Yeah, visit our websites, paradigm.com to learn about Paradigm, anthemav.com to learn about Anthem. Another great resource is anthemarc.com, so you can learn all about Anthem room correction, the latest version Arc Genesis. So there are tons of great resources online. And of course, always look for us out in the field. Reach out to your local Paradigm and Anthem market representation. Reach out to your regional sales manager, myself and Dave, so we can give you all the great details about our products.
Kyle and Dave, thank you for taking time out of your day, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.